Hello, my name's Ria Landon, and I'm the author of two books that I wrote 10 years ago. Sorry, just getting straight into it. Daddy's Little Learner, that was published in 2008, and Escaping Daddy, that I haven't got a copy of because people keep borrowing them and don't bring them back. It doesn't matter because as long as they're being read, I don't mind. But the books, Daddy's Little Learner, the first one, got to number 2 in the bestsellers chart, and Escaping Daddy the following year got to number 6 in the bestsellers chart in this country. So it was amazing, and I was so happy, and you know that people cared enough to read my story. It's not a very nice story. You know, we don't talk about this stuff. 10 years later, it's getting much better. You know, we are starting to talk about it more. But, you know, it's difficult. But trust me, it's a lot more difficult to live with. And we need to be talking about this. Yeah, so the books. They've also been published in French, Portuguese, and Dutch. So yeah, I'm delighted with their success. Obviously, I am really proud of them. But I haven't said much since the books have been written. There's no videos out there of me apart from one interview I did for a Christian Christian TV program called Revelation. It's an awful video of me. But then I guess I'll say that about all the videos of me that I do, just because it's difficult recording yourself. Anyway, I shall continue because I've got stuff to say. Yeah, so I've been fairly quiet for the last 10 years because of health problems. The first few years after writing the books, I was up and down the country, promoting them and doing talks for different organisations, different churches, different children's charities, and I was, you know, went abroad promoting the books as well. So it was a really busy time, and I was also at college doing a degree in English and Cultural Studies, which I really, really enjoyed, and finished with a 2-1. Who'd have thought? There is a point to this. With the idea, I went to college, which is always my dream, to do a degree in English, mainly to prove people wrong, but to also prove to myself that I could do it. And just because I'd had a horrific childhood, I weren't damaged goods, and couldn't amount to anything. And it wasn't that nobody was ever going to love me and I was never going to achieve anything. I could, and I did. So that was amazing. Sadly, my hopes and dreams of continuing to be an author, and to teach adults English skills and to read and write, sadly, those dreams have had to be put on hold because of health problems. I'm still hoping I'm going to get better. I'm 51. I'm not dead yet. Still a lot to do, still a lot to talk about, and I've still got a voice. So, but yeah, the disability that and the problems that I've had in the last 10 years, probably 7 or 8 years, haven't been great, but I do feel that I'm coming out of them a bit now. And for the last few months, I've had it on my heart to do some videos, for a lot of reasons. After I'd written the books for a few years, everybody kept saying to me, when are you going to write another book? Well, seriously, what more could I say? Seriously, what more could I say about, you know, who wanted to hear any more from me? The first book I'd written was up until I was 18. The second book I'd written was up until I was 40. What more could I say? So I used to say, well, you write a book. It's not that easy. I didn't have much more to say, but as it happens now, I have got a few more things to say. I do read the reviews on Amazon and other websites all over the place. in random places sometimes that you get led to, and on the web, on the wonderful world of the web these days. But yeah, I've had so much love and support with my books, so much. It's been absolutely amazing. And I wouldn't be the woman I am today without that love and support from family and friends, and from the messages I've had around the world, from America, New Zealand, South Africa, and, on my doorstep, up, in this country, in every country around the world, people have contacted me to say thank you for writing the book, how much it's helped them, how much it's helped them understand their wife, their partner, their daughter. The books have been used to help the police in their work, social services. I've had foster parents and adoptive parents contact me to say how much the book has helped them understand the children that they're caring for. So yeah, I'm really, really proud. But of course, there will always be critics. And, when you write a book, that's, I always read the reviews, and I always read the best and the worst, because I want to know what the book's about. And I know, I want to know whether I'm going to like it or not, and is it worth me investing my time in. So, reviews are good. I don't mind them. But, with all the love and support, there's obviously going to be my critics. So one of the reasons that I wanted to do some videos was to keep in touch and say hi, I'm back. And I'm still talking, not about myself. There's a point to this. But there are a few things that people do ask me about that come up again and again in, when people contact me. And one of the main things, I was reading a review the other night, and it makes me angry, because people just still don't understand. I mean, things are much, much better now, and people do still are starting to talk more and more about abuse and the effects. But still, people don't understand why people go back to abusive relationships. Now, I'm not going to sit here and justify myself, because I've done that. I've been doing that for over 51 now. Don't tell anyone. Yeah, so I've been justifying myself to myself for the last 50 odd years, and I don't need to do it anymore. So when I hear critics like that, it makes me angry for every person who's been a victim of abuse, every man, woman and child who's been a victim of abuse, who continues to go back, and people don't understand why. Now, one of the reviews I read a few days ago said, why did she keep going back? I'll never understand why she kept going back to her dad. Now, I don't just think of myself. I think of, like I say, I think of all those people who go back to abusive relationships, and that makes me angry. I've just repeated that, haven't I? Never mind. I'll have to learn to edit. Now, people don't go back because they want their abuser to keep abusing them. They go back because of all the promises. They go back because they believe in normality. They go back because they believe in love. They go back because they believe in decency and respect. They go back because they believe in that person, not to abuse them again, but to become the person they promise they can be. They believe in the best in them. So every time I went back to my dad, I didn't go back because I wanted him to abuse me again. I went back because I wanted him to be my dad and act like my dad, and for us to live like he was my dad, and to have that relationship with him that I was entitled to, that he should have been. Now, that's not my fault. He wasn't all of those things. That's his fault. He was in the wrong, not me. And again, I totally understand. And I've done it with my marriage. I've done it again and again, kept going back to abusive relationships. And, as you get older, you understand why you do that. But when you're a child, how anybody cannot understand that is beyond me. why anybody would understand why a child would not want to go back to his parents is beyond me. Anyway, these are things I'd like to talk to you about. There's a few things. So I'm going to make some videos. This is my introduction video, if you like. I'm going to put it on Facebook, on both my sites. I've got a Ria Landon site and I've got a Maria Landon site. So I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put all these videos on Facebook, on both sites, on my website that I haven't used for I don't know how many years. But my darling brother Chris just keeps it going for me, bless him. And I'm going to talk about some other things like disclosure, forgiveness. I'm going to talk about my faith, and I'm going to talk about, things about abuse and how it affects you and how to live with it. I'm going to talk about guilt and shame, and how to overcome these things. And I'm going to talk about the way that I've dealt with it, the way my family's dealt with it, the way we've not coped with it, the ways we have coped with it, the effect it's had on me, my family and my relationships, but also recovery, and learning to believe that each and every one of us, has a reason to be here. Each and every one of us has a positive reason to be here. That our hearts will be the same. I was reading about the heart the other day. It is the most amazing, amazing instrument. We are phenomenal. Just by waking up every morning, the way our bodies work is phenomenal. But apart from that, yes, I do have a strong faith. I do believe in God. And from an early age, I've always believed in love. Now, you can call that what you want. I call it God. You can call it what you want. You can call it meditation or, I don't know, whatever you believe in. But as long as that's love, and what your spirit tells you, I believe that's why we're here. And each and every one of us has got a reason to be here and a purpose in their life. And this has been mine. And I'm happy with that. If I can help and support other people through what I've been through, then I've got a good reason to wake up every morning. So yeah, I'm going to do a few videos. I would love to hear your thoughts, whether you think it's a good idea or not, and just to continue supporting and reaching out to people who've been abused. I can't do much, but I can do a little. I'm not well myself. That's another thing I'd like to talk about, the effect that abuse, childhood abuse has on you. We talk about post-traumatic stress disorder with people who go through things like this. But there's also something that they're calling complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And I'd like to talk about that as well. And I'd also like to talk about the holistic approach where I'm trying to get all my doctors and my rheumatologist, my neurologist to understand that we have to treat the whole person, that all my disabilities and all my problems, physical and emotional and mental, all stem from the same thing. They all feed on each other and they all affect each other. So it's about getting the balance right, it's about getting the treatment right, and where we go from there. So yeah, I think I'm rambling now. I want to keep these videos short, less than 10 minutes, but this is my intro and it's 14. So I've gone over, but I guess that I do ramble on a bit sometimes. So yeah, I just want to say, if you have been abused, I can't, like I say, I can't do much. I'm not a trained counsellor, although I have had counselling training. All I've got is experience, and my biggest message to you is never give up, no matter how bad it gets, no matter how dark it seems. Never, ever, ever give up on yourself. You matter, you are loved, you're loved by me. I don't know you, but I'm reaching out to you right now. Whoever you are, whatever you've done, wherever you are, I can tell you now, you are loved. You do matter, you count, and you can't give up. None of the abuse was your fault, and no matter how bad it was, you can recover. We can't wipe away memories, we just can't. But you can recover and live a good, happy life. You can. I have. And I know many, many other people who have too. And if I can, you can. You can. You're not here to suffer. You're not put on this world, in this world to suffer. So, I'm going to leave it with you. I'm going to say goodbye for now. Please let me know what you think before I put this on YouTube. I'm sure there'll be some haters. But please know that all you'll ever get from me is love. Okay? Thanks for listening. See you next time.